The ANC National Executive Committee's Lekgotla continues in Boksburg. Top officials are reviewing the ANC's election performance, which saw a plunge in support. Party President Cyril Ramaphosa says it must prioritise inclusive growth to create employment, to reduce poverty as well as inequality. He addressed the opening gathering yesterday. Now, the ANC leader says this can only be achieved through growing the economy. Joining us for more on the ANC's ongoing Lekgotla is SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko. Good afternoon, Samkele. So in his opening address yesterday, the president stated that the impact of the failure of local government was felt by the ANC in the general elections, something that Lekgotla also stated, that the battleground was in essence for these national elections at a local government level, primarily service delivery or lack thereof. What came out of today's continued reflections?
Indeed, the ANC, through its president yesterday when he opened the Lekgotla, and its acting spokesperson Lekgotla said that if issues facing local people in local elections became the battleground in this year's national and provincial elections, issues of going to electricity, issues of service delivery, such as provision of housing, provision of roads in municipal areas, became the hot topic within this particular election, which saw the ANC plummeting, just like it plummeted in the 2016 local government election, saying that the 2016, 2020, 2019, 2021 local government elections and ultimately the 2019 and the 2024 general elections ultimately culminated in the ANC, and all of those successive elections being the issues facing the people at a local level, speaking to the triple challenges of poverty, inequality, underdevelopment, coupled with bad service delivery, particularly saying that if you look at a metro municipality like eThekwini, where the services had totally collapsed, particularly after the July unrest and after the floods within that particular metro, and bad governance that has seen the ANC being wiped out in some of the critical metros and municipalities within the country.
We also heard the president speak about the issue of the erosion over time of the ANC's values and corruption and the inability to have proper consequence management. Talk to us about that.
The ANC president has been vociferous in speaking on issues pertaining to lack of consequence management within the governing party, speaking about how ANC government employees have not become accountable, saying that it's important to hold them accountable, saying that it's also important for the organization to renew itself and not to harbor in its ranks those who've been accused or have been charged of any wrongdoing, saying that they must speed ahead in implementing the step-aside resolution in order to cleanse the ANC of any wrongdoing that the party may find itself in order to re-attract South Africans to see the ANC as an organization that, one, renews itself, two, that fights the issues facing the people. Because at the end of the day, the ANC is saying that if you do not resolve the issues that are plundering South Africans into an economic crisis, such as unemployment, poverty, inequality, underdevelopment, if you don't build industries in order to create employment, the ANC will further plummet electorally, in saying that they will first now move to the city of Johannesburg to resolve the political crisis that this particular metro finds itself in order to zoom in and also sort out some of the service delivery deficiencies that are there within that particular metro. And then they will ultimately move to other metros in the country, saying they've already started with the eThekwini Metro Municipality by placing it under Section 189, and also moving forward to also bringing in that team of administrators in Dr. Cassius Lubisi, and also the former city manager of eThekwini, Mike Sutcliffe, in trying to resolve the issue of governance of the bureaucrats within that particular metro municipality, and changing and reinforcing it with political leadership, where you saw ANC NEC member and former MEC of Agriculture in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, that would be Cyril Ramaphosa, being brought in as the mayor of eThekwini.
We've seen reports, Samkele, that a conversation of possible disbanding of poor-performing provinces such as KZN, even your Gauteng, will not necessarily be discussed at this forum. Is this in fact the case? Is it put on the side for a later occasion?
The issue of looking at provinces has not been put into a later occasion. What they have done is the report of Mtumiseni Ntuli, which no ANC NEC member received, of the aftermath of the bloodbath of the elections. It was a PowerPoint presentation. All NEC members, their laptops, their iPads, their cell phones were put outside. None of them had any of their electronic gadgets with them. But that particular presentation was a PowerPoint presentation which was beamed on screen, and which Mtumiseni Ntuli, the head of elections, was expanding on. Spoke about how the ANC's communication messaging during the elections was lackluster. It was bad. It contributed to the ANC's bad electoral fortunes. It spoke to the provinces that did not perform well, which is the Northern Cape, Mpumalanga, Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal, and how the ANC's National Working Committee henceforth from this particular meeting will then go visit those particular provinces, conduct assessments and write a report to the ANC's NEC from the NWC, which will recommend some of the actions that may be taken. In the package that we did on Friday and the interviews we conducted, particularly with Nomvula Mokonyane, she said at the time in isiZulu, we are not at a stage ukuthi kushawabani, end of quote. We are not at a stage of who are we dealing with or who are we not dealing with. We are at a stage where we are assessing where we are electorally. Then structurally, when we look at the strength of our structures, that will be done by NWC visits, which will then thus have the NWC write a report to the ANC National Executive Committee. Thus, then decisions will be then taken on the future of various provinces. It has been largely speculated that KwaZulu-Natal would be disbanded, Gauteng would also be disbanded, and there would be also consequence management in the Northern Cape and in Mpumalanga, where the ANC saw a huge plunge in its electoral support.
All right, Samkele, thank you very much for that reportage. That's SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko speaking to us from Birchwood.